What's going on, y'all? So if you haven't heard, Russell Brand is facing some very serious allegations of forced sexual contact as well as sexual assault. We're going to get into this situation. I'm going to be answering a few questions for you to include, but not limited to, who is Russell Brand? What are the allegations against him? And why are they coming up now? I'm going to answer these questions and many more soon to come. But first, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button if you get any value from this video, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to smash the subscribe button. With that being said, let's get into it. So you might be wondering, who is Russell Brand? Russell Brand is a very well-established comedian, actor, activist, and YouTuber. He's been in movies such as Get Him to the Greek and Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Today, he has over 6 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, where he largely talks about politics and current events. Now, as a result of these allegations, YouTube has demonetized Russell Brand's platform, which means he can no longer monetize the fact that he has 6 million subscribers who are willing to tune in and watch him upload videos on politics and current events. We're going to get into why that's important. But first, let me explain the allegations against him. Again, this article is coming from the BBC. It reads, "Rape, sexual assault, and emotional abuse. 4 women are alleging sexual assaults between 2006 and 2013. So if true, that means the last allegation would have occurred about 10 years ago. One woman alleges that Russell Brand, raped her without a condom against a wall in his Los Angeles home. She says Brand tried to stop her leaving until she told him she was going to the bathroom. She was treated at a rape crisis center on the same day, which the Times says it has confirmed via medical records. A second woman in the UK alleges that Brand assaulted her when he was in his early 30s, and she was 16 years old and still at school. She alleges he referred to her as the child during an emotionally abusive and controlling relationship. Looking back, she says, he engaged in behaviors of a groomer. A third woman claims that Russell Brand, sexually assaulted her while she worked with him in Los Angeles. She alleges she repeatedly told Brand to get off of her, and when he eventually relented, he flipped and was super angry. She says he threatened to take legal action if she told anyone else about her allegation. Lastly, the fourth woman has alleged being sexually assaulted by Brand in the UK and him being physically and emotionally abusive towards her. Now, did Russell Brand commit these heinous acts? I don't know. I wasn't there, but what I will say is that he has openly admitted to having a very promiscuous past and having had struggled with drug addiction. So I'd say it's within the realm of possibility. With that being said, though, I do want to point out the timing of the situation. According to the alleged victims, the last situation occurred back in 2013. That's about 10 years ago. And right now, Russell Brand is happily married. So why are these allegations coming out now? Before I answer that question, I want you to check out a few of these clips.
These corporations operate as anything other than mouthpieces for their affiliate owners in BlackRock and Vanguard. And unless we start to embrace, and also, mate, like just spiritually, if I may use that word in your great country, we have to take responsibility for our own perspectives. I've been on that MSNBC, mate. It was propagandist nutcrackery on there. I went on a show called Morning Joe. It was absurd the way they carried on.
Good Morning Joe.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It wasn't morning. There was no one called Joe there. No one could concentrate. They didn't understand the basic tenets of journalism. No one was willing to stick up for genuine American heroes, and no one was willing to talk about Julian Assange and what he's suffered trying to bring real journalism to the American people. And I think to sit within The castle of MSNBC throwing rocks at Fox News is ludicrous.
My friend.
Make MSNBC better. Make MSNBC great again.
My friend, I would. The moment.
Why is them on a territory you can win on, Joe?
Russell, darling. The moment that you give me a specific example, an actual example.
Okay, I'll give you one.
Wait. Just
wait. Just
let him go.
Just we need a specific example.
How about let me tell you what the specific I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear a specific example, a provable specific example of an MSNBC correspondent or anchor being on television saying something they knew was false and we're saying behind the scenes to people, I'm about to go out and we know that the election wasn't stolen or something equivalent.
Example.
But I will go out on television and say the opposite. I will lie.
When's my answer?
Just give me the specific example.
I understand the basic point.
Give me a specific example.
All right.
I'm with you. I think it's a false equivalency, Russell.
That's your own bias.
It's not about bias. It's a false equivalency because you don't actually know anything about any of these organizations you're talking about. Even on MSNBC once. Big fucking deal.
My darling, it was more than enough.
You can't come out with
such a
By the way, I forgot that dude's name, but he's such an asshole.
Do you want an example?
Forgot his name.
Do you want an example?
Yes.
The ludicrous, outrageous criticisms of Joe Rogan around ivermectin, deliberately referring to it as a horse medicine when they know it's an effective medicine.
Yeah, that's
what
not a bad
Rachel
example.
Maddow turning up on the TV saying, if you take this vaccine, you're not going to get it, when it hadn't been clinically trialed for transmission.
Non-responsive.
You have to listen. Do you think you can improve America by determinedly and avowedly condemning Fox News without acknowledging that you're participating in the same game? Did you not just listen to Bernie Sanders, someone who plainly, legitimately believes in this country and believes it's possible to change, but is bound by corruption, is bound by the lobbying system? Surely it's clear to you, Bill, as one of the great pundits and experts and comic voices, that systemic change is required. Money has to be taken out of politics. We need new political systems that genuinely represent ordinary Americans so that we can overcome cultural differences. And bickering about which propagandist network is the worst is not going to save a single American life, not improve the life of a single American child, not going to improve America's standing in the world, and the world needs a strong America. I'll tell you that. So you have an obligation, a duty, not to condemn these people.
Listen, I play this clip to show you the types of things that this man is saying. With an audience of over 6 million people, this man is going on shows like Bill Maher on HBO, reaching a large audience, telling them the truth about corporations such as BlackRock, MSNBC, and CNN, telling them the truth about Bernie Sanders being bound by a corrupt system. He's telling the truth. Not only that, but we are approaching World War III in Ukraine. Russell Brand is outspoken on this topic, and the powers that be do not like it. This is way too much power for one man to have. And when one man gets too much power, out comes the sexual assault allegations. It goes without fail. Think about all the people who are facing sexual assault allegations today. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Andrew Tate, Russell Brand, Bernie Sanders. The list goes on. You would be hard pressed. It would be a shorter list to come up with the names of people who are in power who don't have sexual assault allegations against them. The only way that you can avoid sexual assault allegations, it seems, is to A, not be successful, or B, be homosexual. If you're a heterosexual man and you're successful and you're going against the establishment, it's only a matter of time before you get hit with the hashtag #MeToo. And that's just the bottom line. Now I'm going to end this video by playing Russell Brand's personal response to these allegations. But first, if you've made it this far in the video, be sure to support the channel by hitting the thumbs up button. And if this is your first time watching, smash the subscribe button. We drop videos just about every single day on controversial topics just like this. So come on back for a perspective that you might not have heard before. With that being said, play the clip.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received two extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff, like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of. And we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles, Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist, Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous, consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations, but I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free. The pandemic created at least 40 new big pharma billionaires. Pharmaceutical corporations like Moderna and Pfizer made $1,000 of profit every second from the COVID-19 vaccine. More than two-thirds of Congress received campaign funding from pharmaceutical companies in the 2020 election. Pfizer chairman Albert Bourla told Time magazine in July 2020 that his company was developing a COVID vaccine for the good of humanity, not for money. And of course, Pfizer made $100 billion in profit in 2022. And may I just mention, finally, and this is also a fact, that you, the American public, funded the development of that. The German public funded the BioNTech vaccine. When it came to the profits, they took the profits. When it came to the funding, you paid for the funding. All I'm querying is this.
Yes.
Is if you have an economic system in which pharmaceutical companies benefit hugely from medical emergencies, where a military-industrial complex benefits from war, where energy companies benefit from energy crises, you are going to generate states of perpetual crisis where the interests of ordinary people separate from the interests of the elite.